Okay, so. Alright, so tell me what you guys already know about the grammatical subject of a sentence.
Oh, what?
The subject of a sentence. Subject or predicate. When I say grammatical subject, I mean not like the subject, like what, I mean the subject. As in what I just said a few minutes ago, subject and predicate, the grammatical subject. Like when I ask you, what is the subject of the sentence?
I know.
Okay, so does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys know about subjects? Tell me what you know about them.
They are the main. Sorry. They are the main thing of the story, or what the sentence is about.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's a name, like Jesus did something, the subject is Jesus.
If Jesus did something. Now, if there's more than one name in the subject, does that mean
The act. No.
Does that automatically mean
No.
No. Okay. Why not? Tell me. I mean, because what Jesus? What part of speech is that? Come on.
Dude,
Christmas break wasn't that long.
My brain is installed with video
Help
games
a brother out.
and sports.
It was a noun. Pretty
Noun.
sure, yes.
Alright, let's all say the
said
parts of
that.
speech together so we can just kind of get warmed up. Okay? So, what are it? Noun?
Noun.
What up? Verbs.
Pronouns.
Pronouns. Adverbs. Adjectives.
Adjectives.
Conjunctions.
Interjections.
Interjections.
Prepositions.
Yay! We're awake. Okay, so keep them in your brain. We're gonna be talking about that.
I
kind of
didn't
stuff.
know what you mean at first. That's why I didn't say noun, so you know, I'm
Yeah. Normally subjects are nouns. But what, sometimes we can get, when I first started learning about subjects, I used to get nouns and subjects confused. I would always think every noun is a subject. When I first started learning about them, I actually remember thinking that.
Every subject is a noun.
Every subject is a noun, but not every noun is a subject, right? So how do we determine what the subject of a sentence is?
By like.
Did you want to go? Or well, here, Garrett, and then you can, if you know. Garrett?
An average of sentences have an action. What does the action is usually the subject.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and another term for that is agent. Agent is the one doing the action, right? So, and the subject is the one that ought to be doing the action as well, right? Very good. Okay, so what questions might one ask themselves to determine? Yes.
Like if the sentence was Shirley ran with her dog, then you would say who or what ran, and then it would be Shirley.
Yeah, exactly. So asking who did the action. Very good. Okay, so why are subjects important? I know it's kind of an overly simplified question.
Because it's the main part of the sentence.
Yeah.
It's what builds the character.
Very good. All right, and let me see, I'll do this. Okay, and how can you? Well, here, let me. Which question do I want to ask you next? Okay, so do you guys remember when we were doing our verb editing?
Nope.
It was about more than 4 weeks because we just came back on a long break. We learned about different errors, common errors that can be in our writing concerning verbs. Yes, Garrett?
Like the passive verb cliche.
Yeah.
And undefined.
Right. What do you remember about passive verbs?
Their action. Their action. Verbs.
What about the action? And hold on, let Garrett finish. Well, do you mind raising your hand just so I can keep, if we can help not interrupt each other, that would be good. Thanks.
Passive verbs don't have the full meaning, the full quality, right? Is that it?
Tell me more. Tell me what you mean by that. That's fine. You want someone to help you out? Okay. Passive passive verbs. Does anyone else remember about them? What were they like? You could give an example. It's not necessary to have to say the exact definition.
I'm not positive, but is it kind of like a weak verb?
It's weak, but why is it weak?
Oh.
Okay. Go ahead, Garrett, and then
Go ahead.
Rebecca.
No, you can. It's okay.
Okay.
You raise the same first.
So passive verb describes what happened, but doesn't describe it in the right way. Doesn't go enough into defining. Right?
It doesn't describe it in the right way. That's correct. And it's very similar to what we were just talking about the subject being the actor. Let me give you an example, and then you tell me. The town was wrecked by the tornado. That's a passive. That's a sentence with a passive verb in it.
So in order to fix that, wouldn't you write something like smashed or torn apart?
Well,
Yeah.
wrecked is that a weak verb?
No.
So it's not the verb itself. Think about how I'm
Passive
saying it.
verb. Oh, is
And let me tell you, go ahead.
Never mind.
That's fine.
passive verb is
Is
not.
it like, doesn't it get confused with like the subject or
Yes,
something?
yes, exactly. Did the town wreck? What's acting as the subject in that sentence?
The tornado.
The tornado. And how I say it though, the town was wrecked by the tornado. What is actually seeming more like the subject in the sentence? The town. Did the town do the wrecking?
No.
No. So what should it say?
The tornado wrecked the town.
Exactly. Okay, is it starting to come back a little bit? I know it takes a little bit to get the juices flowing after holiday. Okay. So the passive form of that sentence was the town was wrecked by the tornado. And the active form was what Rebecca just said, the tornado wrecked the town. Okay, so based on that, what could we say that the passive verb error is like? What is it?
The
Go for it.
subject.
Well, hold on.
Go ahead.
Garrett raised his hand first.
Go ahead.
Hmm?
Go ahead.
Oh, you ask the question again, cause I just.
What, based on the example I gave about the tornado, what is the passive verb like? What is it?
What do you mean, like, what is it like?
If I asked you what's a passive verb error?
Oh, it gets, it's when it gets confused with the subject.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. Okay. Did you want to add anything to that, Garrett?
Nope.
Okay. Good job, guys. All right. So with that in mind, I mentioned to you a moment ago that the agent is the person doing the action. The agent can never changes, no matter how you write the sentence. The agent is the thing. I mean, it's always true. In our sentence, the tornado wrecked the town, or the town was wrecked by the tornado. We know innately that the tornado was the thing that wrecked the town. So the tornado is the agent. But in one of the sentences, our grammar, our structure, it didn't parallel itself with that, did it? So the agent wasn't in the place it should be in. With that in mind, is it possible for the agent not to be the subject of the sentence? You remember I said the agent and the subject are two different things.
So yes.
Because the agent, we knew the tornado was the agent in both sentences.
So
But was the tornado the subject in both sentences?
Well,
No.
it didn't seem.
No. Oh, see, go ahead. Go ahead.
It didn't seem like it, but would it still be the subject, or is it because of is it the sentence structure that makes it the subject, or is it the actual words?
It's more of the sentence structure that,
Okay.
and that's I think sometimes why verb errors and subject errors escape us at times, because we know, of course, the tornado wrecked the town. The town didn't, and so it's the slight distinction between what we know was true about that sentence and what the grammar is communicating. And so, and that making those distinctions, learning those distinctions is what these errors are all about. So yeah. So it is possible for the agent to not be the subject, but the agent ought to always be the subject. There are times when it's not, and as we master this in grammar, then we will find the times that are more fitting to play with it and change it. Okay, so enough of the lecture stuff. There's a few things that you guys need to know before we talk about how to do this and what this is. You need to know that clear subjects clarify the sentence. And that sometimes when you revise a subject, you'll also need to revise a verb. So, revised subjects sometimes demand revised verbs. Also that, just a few definitions, that there's 3 types of subject errors we're going to look at today. The first kind, non-particular. Non-particular subjects are subjects that are too general. So, subjects too general. The next kind is a hidden subject. And these subjects are in the sentence, they're in the sentence, but they are, and they're not the main actor, but they need to be. Not main actor, but need to be. And then the last kind of subject error is the missing subject, and these are missing from the sentence entirely. They need to be added as the main actor.
Is that reused?
Where?
There. Like, second one.
Revised?
Oh, my fault.
Sorry.
This one right.
You should write more clearly. Revised. Okay. So hidden, missing subjects, not in sentence at all. Not in sentence, but should be as main actor. Okay? So we can improve our subjects by discovering these subject errors in our writing and then fixing them. So let's do that. So to start out, I'm going to read 3 sentences that have good subjects, and let's just think about them for a minute, and you tell me why it's a good subject, why it's a good sentence, what's compelling about it, any of those kinds of things. The boy Ascanius rides happy in the valleys of his fiery stallion, on his fiery stallion, sorry. The boy Ascanius rides happy in the valleys on his fiery stallion.
It's very descriptive.
Very descriptive. Mm-hmm. Anything Anything else? Do you like the sentence, Josiah? Alright, next one. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus. Sorry, let me read that again. But Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when Jesus came.
Didymus.
If I'm pronouncing that right. What is that? What's compelling about that? What makes this a good sentence?
It has Jesus in it.
Well, it makes you kind of wonder, like, why wasn't he there?
Mhm.
Like, it's a little kind of like that. But it also, the structure of it kind of reminds me of, like, a children's book,
Okay.
which I know is kind of random, but I think that's cool.
Very good. Okay. Any thoughts, Garrett?
No.
Okay. Last sentence. Mr. Beaver looked up from the wood stove, where the fish were sizzling in a pan.
Fish.
What's compelling about this? Other than
Food.
I knew you were gonna say that.
No,
Good job, you predicted.
because
I like the word sizzle.
Good word. What about the subject? Do you know what the subject is? What is the subject?
It's renounced.
Mr. Beaver.
Mr. Beaver. Yeah. So we know exactly who we're talking about.
It,
Good.
No, the subject fish, because
Well,
Just because you like food the best doesn't mean it's always the
you
subject of
can
the
change it.
well, it's the fish is the direct object, so it's like,
No.
it's
I'm just joking.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So those we're gonna take a look at. Are you guys done with this?
I
Yes.
can't see the last.
Missing subject.
I will work on the other side.
You know
We'll
what?
finish that.
I
Okay.
have a mom.
So
That's anything.
so let's look at this sentence together. The girl takes dance lessons on Fridays. Okay. It has a subject error. Can you guys tell me which one it is? Garrett?
Non-particular.
Non-particular. Very good. So what is the subject of this sentence?
Girl.
Girl. And what would make it more particular?
Adding the name.
Adding a name. Okay. Choose a name. What should we
Lucy.
Lucy. So Lucy takes dance lessons on Friday. We're good. Very simple. We made our writing better by identifying the subject error and revising it and rewriting it. This was a very simple rewrite. We only had to change a couple words. Okay, let's look at another one. Are we done? Are you done with this now? Okay, awesome. Okay. The traffic was directed during the annual St. Patrick's Day parade. The
Ooh.
traffic was directed during the annual St. Patrick's Day parade.
I know the verb.
Okay, the verb.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So what's the subject of the sentence?
It's missing.
It's missing. Very good. Okay. So when you have a missing subject, there's a few more questions that I think are helpful to ask, and you may want to write this down because this is not in your book. Once you've discovered what the subject is, then we need to look at what is the verb, what's the action happening in the sentence.
The traffic being directed.
Okay, once you find out what the action is, then ask yourself, who who would it be possible for what subject could possibly be doing this action? What could be the
Police.
possibility? Right. In this case, it would be police. So you're asking, if you have a missing subject, you may need to spend a moment thinking, what are the possibilities? Who could actually be doing this action? Or what could be, if you're asserting something, what could possibly have this as its assertion? So, good job, Josiah.
I mean-
Police. How can you rewrite this sentence now?
The police officer was directing traffic during the Antelope St. Patrick's Day parade.
Very good. The police.
I switched out the words.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You can take those liberties. Absolutely. The police officer.
Where's that lucky charm at?
Which one?
Have you seen that?
What did you say? The police officer was directing traffic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've never heard of lucky charms.
During.
You know the guy
Very
on
good.
the box?
All right. So so we improved our writing by finding the subject error and rewriting it in this sentence as well. Okay, now let's try one more sentence.
Can we make up one?
Well, no, not yet. Maybe you could try to make some up later, but for now, let me use the ones I already have. Unless you can make up one that you know has a subject error in it.
A subject error.
Think about it, but we're going to use this one for right now. The Turkish delight.
It's nasty. We tried some.
The Turkish delight was eaten by Edmund.
Jello with powdered sugar on it, basically.
Sounds delicious.
It's white Jello with powdered sugar.
I don't care.
It's a little bit different than that. It's like thicker.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know.
All right.
I don't like it.
What kind of subject error do we have here,
I've had a roast.
gentlemen?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of subject error do we have here?
The
Rebecca?
Turkish delight was eaten by.
Yes.
It's kind of like the passive, so would it be like the hidden subject?
Yes. Very good. Perfect.
Hot air.
Okay. So, who is the subject and what is the action? Who's the actor and who's the
The actor's
action?
Edmund. The action.
So the actor is Edmund, correct?
The action.
And what's the action? Rebecca?
Eaten.
Eaten. Yes. Okay, so how could you rewrite this?
Edmund ate the Turkish delight.
Very good. Edmund ate the Turkish delight. Excellent. Okay. So maybe we'll do one more. Let's do one more.
What?
Okay, last one. The Mercedes was stolen around noon yesterday.
Great.
The Mercedes, be thinking about what subject area this is. The Mercedes was stolen around noon yesterday. What kind of subject error do we have here? Yes.
Missing.
Missing. Okay, so what is the action happening? What's the action being taken?
Missing.
Rebecca, thanks for raising your hand.
I didn't say it. I was just like. Whatever. He's confused.
Stolen. Yeah, car being stolen. All right, Josiah. Who could possibly steal a car? What kind of, who could steal a car? If that's the action.
Me.
Josiah stole the. Okay, so how would you write that sentence? It's not very
Josiah
virtuous of you.
Stole the Mercedes around me.
And I hope I get to take
Josiah. You're fired.
Fired
from
I wanna make it pull over.
He's fired. I don't know. Fired from something.
Alright.
Fired. I mean, I don't think you would like me on fire. I don't think.
So-
My knee.
All right. So I'm not writing that you stole the Mercedes. I can't
Why?
bring myself to do that.
Mom,
I'm not
I'll do
speaking
it.
that. No, I'm not speaking that over you.
Fine, Joe.
No.
Oh, fine.
My
I got one.
dearest son.
The Wiggles.
The Wiggles.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. Fine. It works. The Wiggles.
Oh,
So how would I write the rest of the sentence?
The Wiggles stole you mistake the Mercedes around noon. Yesterday. I'm so stupid sometimes. I don't even-
They had a little too much fruit salad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. You guys are awesome.
I remember that. I'm
Very
stupid
funny.
sometimes.
Loved the
Love
Wiggles,
me.
guys.
Shut
He
up.
was obsessed with them.
That's the show.
Oh,
Bob the
man.
Builder. Wiggles.
That's right. Those are
Elmo,
your
that
shows.
Oh, wow.
That's
Elmo.
funny. Okay. So what did we do?
Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about.
What did we, gentlemen?
He doesn't know what Elmo is.
Oh.
Hey, gentlemen. I have a question for you. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready
Garrett?
for angry.
What did we do every single time we looked at a sentence? Garrett.
I found the subject error and corrected it.
Okay. Great. And how did we correct it?
By adding or changing the subject.
Okay.
In case of a missing one, we added it. And the other ones, we rearranged the order.
Good. Good. Okay. And what Laurel? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I guess I'm still waking up from winter break too.
Aren't we all?
I
Okay.
don't remember that.
So tell me, what how do we improve our writing in terms of subject errors?
Well, we find the subject error,
Mhm.
and then we think of what could make it better, or what can we change to make it sentence sound, have more detail, make more sense, and then we add subjects or things like that.
I'm sorry. I'm seriously sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Good job. Josiah?
I'm
Do
laughing
you have
because I
something to
hit
share
my
with us?
I hit my knee and it hurts, so I'm not like
Why would you laugh at
I
that?
don't know.
Okay, Josiah, can you tell me what were the differences between each of the times we found subject errors?
We use different words.
We did use different words. Did we always correct the sentence, bless you, in the exact same way?
No.
How was that different?
It was. I can't even think. I'm sorry.
Alright, everyone take 5 seconds and get your giggles out. Go. Giggles. 5 seconds. 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, so you said we didn't rewrite them in the same way
So
each time.
basically, what we did. Stop laughing.
Garrett. Stop
Basically,
distracting
what
the
we
boy.
Is that we got this subject. We got the subject. Yes.
Okay.
And then we. I don't know.
Y'all are silly. Deep breath. Alright, someone not infected with the laughing disease, please help them. Okay, how were they different? Because he said we used different words, but then he said that we edited them differently, that we arranged them differently. We didn't rewrite them in the exact same way. Why was that? And how? Yes.
Well, sometimes all we had to do was add a word,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes we had to completely rearrange a sentence structure.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the missing subject, we had to rearrange it a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
And same with the hidden. Like we didn't have to rearrange it to the point where it's completely different. Like like it's still the same sentence. It's just
Different.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
being really repetitive.
No, great job.
I'm sorry for the interruption.
I forgive you. Okay. All right. So, Josiah, tell me, how do you improve your writing in terms of subject errors?
Improve? Well,
How can you
of course
improve
you
it?
write, so it improves every time you write a sentence.
Mm-hmm. So, in terms of, think about what we did here today in answering that.
It makes you better
How do,
at doing this type of thing. Because the more you do something, the more you get it.
you're right. But what I'm getting at is, how do you improve your writing through looking for subject errors? How do you what we just did here?
Oh,
How do you find subject errors and correct them?
so we read the sentence like we did, like the Wiggles stole. Wait, I can't talk right now. Just you get the sentence and you read it, and then you find the subject or the missing subject,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put it and you make the sentence better.
Very good.
Can I get some water?
Yes. Okay, Garrett, in your own words, how do you improve your writing in terms of subjects?
By
errors?
editing the sentences according to their flaw. For the missing, you just add a different word that fits it. And for the undefined, you do the same thing, except you just edit and change the subject. For most of the other ones, you just change the sentence form. Other than that,
And Laura, what are the 3 subject errors?
There's missing, hidden, and non-particular.
Okay. And what questions might you ask yourself when you're sitting with your paper in front of you, trying to see, editing? What might you ask yourself so that you can check for these?
Well, for the missing, you asked what subject. Well, no. What was the question, sorry?
When you're reading your essay,
Mm-hmm.
what might you ask yourself in order to find if you have any subject errors?
Well, you could ask yourself if this is descriptive enough
Mm-hmm.
and if it provides enough detail for the reader. And then, if the subject is even there, is it just implied in your head?
Right.
It's not written down.
Right.
Or, yeah, I think that's what I'm doing.
Okay, great. All right, so you guys should be up to having your lesson for arrangement completed. And so tonight's homework is turn your essay, your outline, arrangement for outline,
Yes, ma'am.
into an essay. And then there is a worksheet in your student workbook about editing subjects. So you're going to complete that so you can practice this skill. And then you'll apply that skill to your essay during the editing process. Okay? So, and the checklists at the back of your book, don't forget those, because that will remind you what you need to edit for in this particular essay.
Is
Lesson
our
4.
homework in here?
It is, actually.
Okay. Just making sure.
It is.
Because I was